Welcome to the Michigan Association for College Admission Counseling's virtual college fair. Thank you very much for joining us today. Before we get started with our presentations, just a few quick housekeeping items to go over. The first is that attendees are welcome and certainly encouraged to ask questions to any of the panelists at any time utilizing the Q&A feature. You can pose your question to a specific panelist, or you can ask a general question to any and all the panelists. Also, just a reminder that your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists will not be able to see or hear you. And there are 2 other blocks of sessions today, so if you haven't signed up for those yet, please do so. And about 1 week from today, a recording of this session will be available on that same registration website. But at this time, I'd like to go ahead and turn it over to our panelists. And up first, we'll hear from the University of Melbourne.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Julia, and I'm with the University of Melbourne, based in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. So today I'm just going to go over some of the advantages of doing a degree at Uni Melb. Bachelor degrees in Australia are only 3 years, and we are part of the group of 8 universities, so that would be the Australian equivalent of an Ivy League. At a very affordable price. We have quite straightforward admissions process. And of course, it's a really amazing way to have a great adventure at this time in your life in a really beautiful country. So Uni Melb is actually ranked #1 in Australia, and we are ranked 25 globally. We're a large public research intensive university, so we have all the sorts of programs that you would find at a large public institution here in the States. So we have everything from the humanities to business, STEM, performing arts, and more. And as you can see, a lot of these are ranked in the top 20 worldwide. So the point of difference with applying to an Australian university rather than a US institution is you apply directly to that program. So you don't actually have to choose your major with us straight away, but you do have to have a general idea of what you would like to study. So let's say you want to study history, you would apply directly to a Bachelor of Arts. And again, we have over 140 different majors, so lots and lots on offer. And you still have the flexibility to sort of explore your different interests as well with elective classes. So admissions is really very much a straightforward process in Australia. We are only going to really look at your GPA, your SAT or your ACT score, and then Uni Melb requires AP prerequisites. We don't have any essays, personal statements, references, and extracurriculars are not considered. So the whole application process is going to take under an hour. But if you meet the entry requirements, there's a very good chance you'll get an offer. So if you'd like to study history, you apply for a Bachelor of Arts. We would need a GPA of 3.2 and an SAT of 1320. Or an ACT of 28. And then we do require 2 AP exams, and each program that we have requires different AP prerequisites. We do definitely accept the IB diploma as well. For 2021 admissions, we definitely appreciate that a lot of tests have been canceled. So we do offer some alternatives. We allow students to take an online STAT test, or they can apply with an AP aggregate. And I'll pop my information in the chat after I'm done, and please feel free to reach out and we can book a one-on-one time to chat, or you can send me an email. So the academic calendar is a little different down under. So semester 1 is March to June, and semester 2 is July to November. Students are free to apply for either semester, but it can often be a great experience to have a mini gap year and start in March. The seasons are different. So your winter break from school will be in July, and your summer break will be November to Feb. It actually can be really affordable to do a degree overseas. Uni Melb accepts US student loans. And again, you're only paying for 3 years of tuition and living expenses. And you're getting into the workforce a little bit quicker as well. And as you can see, these are this is a cost comparison for in-state options in California. So we can definitely be comparable to an in-state public school. We really appreciate that your education is going to be one of the biggest investments that you ever make. So we're really proud to rank 7 in the world for graduate employability. Lots and lots of opportunities for internships, undergraduate research, and we do have a huge alumni network as well. So our campus is just about 10-15 minutes away from downtown Melbourne. It is a separate campus area, and we've been around since 1853. So that's a lot of beautiful old buildings on campus. We do definitely have modern facilities as well. So a lot of our new buildings are quite eco-friendly and really great places to hang out and study. So definitely one of the advantages of doing a degree at Uni Melb is that you actually get to live in beautiful Melbourne. Melbourne was rated the most livable city in the world for 7 years in a row. So there's really so many different things that you can do, both on campus and off campus. Lots of great culture, and Australians are very inclusive and very welcoming people. And our student population is about 40% international students. So everyone's sort of in the same boat where they're wanting to make friends and meet people. Great, and we're quite close to the Great Ocean Road, so really easy access to nature and beaches as well. Please feel free to sign up for our mailing list or book a one-on-one Zoom with me. Thanks very much, everyone.
Thank you very much, University of Melbourne. To any attendees who joined us after the start of our session, just a reminder, if you have any questions, please feel free to send them through the Q&A. Up next, we're going to move to McGill University.
Hello, and thank you for joining us this evening, early evening. My name is Nick McKenzie. I'm a student recruitment associate at McGill University, and I will share a bit of the information of our university. So what I hope you're using events like this for is just to figure out what the best fit is for you. I'm happy to be here with other universities around the world. We all have something great to offer, but it's really about finding your own personal reason and connection to a university. So I hope you're using this time in your research to find that place for you. When it comes to McGill, we're proud of the history, the extensive history that we have, where international students have been able to come to McGill and either make a home for themselves in Canada, Canada being a place where if you do a full degree, you can get you can work towards permanent residency. So students fall in love with the city of Montreal, or they just fall in love with Canada and they decide to stick around. But if not, we definitely encourage students to take their degree back home, wherever they may be from, and develop their careers there or travel around the world as well. We really do, we want to push you to figure out what that fit is for you. And for undergraduate programs, there are many available to you. When it comes to Montreal, this is definitely a selling point for ourselves. It's a great city in terms of student safety. It's definitely near the top in the world. We have sort of this advantage of almost feeling like different cities depending on the season that you're in, whether it's the hot summer months or, yes, I'll be honest, the cold winter months. There's definitely something available for all students, no matter what, whether that's picking up a new winter activity or just taking advantage of all the festivals that take place in the summer. We have over 200,000 students in the city of Montreal, so it's a city that's just designed for you, for young adults. So definitely, please feel free to take advantage of that opportunity. We do have 2 campuses, which is maybe unheard of, maybe unknown to you at this time, and I'll talk about them a little later on. You can definitely grab a shuttle that takes you back and forth between the 2 campuses. They're both on the island of Montreal. That's about a 40-minute drive. And for parents who are maybe listening and want to know how accessible is Montreal as a city, whether you're flying or driving, there's definitely opportunities to explore the eastern coast of North America. Or if you're interested in just traveling anywhere else for that matter, Montreal being an international city definitely gives you that opportunity. So the downtown campus is where most of our students will spend their time. You can see the total number there, and I'll show you all the faculties that take place at this campus. This is a combination of old and new buildings, celebrating that 200th year anniversary with a lot of new projects that have been unveiled. This is where a lot of our science labs take place, our medical facilities, so obviously high-tech technology, engineering labs as well. But with that combination of just that old sort of, campus feeling that is still present at our downtown campus. Just to give you a little picture, the idea of how the city of Montreal has grown around our campus throughout the decades, which gives you that combination of wanting that campus experience, but at the same time, if you want that opportunity to explore a downtown city like Montreal, you don't have to go very far. A lot of our residences are located around those red lines that you can see. So you definitely get this opportunity to have this McGill community, called like the little McGill bubble, where a lot of students are occupying the apartments that are nearby. And then in your upper years, when you have your own apartment, you don't have to go very far either. You're maybe even closer than one of the residences even. And also has that green space opportunity. And the MAC campus is very much like that as well. So this is a smaller campus for fewer students, focused on agricultural and environmental science programs. Basically, the campus is set up so that you get that hands-on experience of the fields that you're interested in, whether that's food sciences, bioresource engineering, and a lot of other programs. We definitely give you the opportunity to get smaller class sizes, but also dealing with nature, because these are programs in that type of environment. And so we want you to have that hands-on experience. So as I mentioned, each campus has its own set of programs and faculties. So depending on what you're studying, this is where you'll spend most of your time. You can definitely take electives, free courses at the other campus, so you can travel back and forth. Students definitely do that. But if you're interested, you can just really focus on the campus and spend your time there. When you do apply to McGill, and like other universities, you apply directly through our own website. You are basically asking to join one of our faculties. So you are going directly into one of our faculties when you apply. And I'll talk a bit about that application process. But we have over 300 programs to choose from within all those faculties listed here. One thing that I like to talk about are the programs that are offered in multiple faculties. As I mentioned, that you apply directly to one or two faculties. So it is important to know that there are options in different cases, different faculties. So depending on your prereqs, you can actually take two opportunities, have two chances to study something that you're interested in studying. This is a big thing for psychology or computer science, for example. One thing, in case you're not applying for fall 2022, but if you are, or if you're applying for a later period, know that these deadlines are always basically the same. So January 15th for the application. This is not about you being, you might be a Canadian citizen studying in the US, and that's fine, but note that you're applying as a US student through a US high school. So January 15th is that deadline. We have scholarships and financial aid available for international students, and you're encouraged to apply for that. In terms of the application, we are grade-based, and we focus on your high school grades and prerequisite courses. For fall 2022, we are test optional, but please take advantage and look at our website for more information as that comes out. And then just a few last things. If you do want to access and sort of see yourself on campus and stay connected, you can do so through a virtual tour. And I'll share that information in the chat. And you can access a podcast that we've created on our websites at the undergraduate admissions page, our Instagram page, and events pages, where we will do many more events for the next many months. Thank you for joining.
Thank you very much, McGill. Up next, we're going to move to the University of Toronto.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for taking the time to come and listen to our presentations today. My name is Courtney. I'm one of the recruitment officers with the University of Toronto, and I am from Clarkston, Michigan. So I'm so happy to join everyone here today in my home state. We have a really short amount of time to talk about one of the world's best universities. So there's 3 key points that I want you to take away from today's session. Not only are we Canada's top university, but we're also a network of unique communities right in the heart of a dynamic, diverse, cosmopolitan region. And best of all, U of T students can mix and match programs and experiences to build truly personalized degrees. So let's get started. The University of Toronto is Canada's best university, and we have an incredible reputation for our academics, faculty, and research. Founded in 1827, our faculty, alumni, and students are leaders in discovery and innovation. And in fact, more research-based startups have come out of U of T than any other university in North America. A lot of people know, for example, that insulin was discovered at U of T, but did you know that stem cell research started here too? We've also produced Oscar winners, Olympic champions, prime ministers, Nobel laureates, and best-selling authors like Margaret Atwood and Malcolm Gladwell. The second takeaway is that U of T is a network of unique communities in the heart of one of the most dynamic regions in the world. When you live in Toronto, you live just steps from hundreds of vibrant communities and neighborhoods, each with its own distinct character and flavor. The BBC once ranked us the world's most diverse city, and while there's certainly lots of contenders for that title, we're definitely up there. In fact, about half of Toronto's population was born outside of Canada and speaks languages other than English. And while we are Canada's largest university, each student at U of T is part of a smaller community where you can really feel at home. One of the layers of community that you'll find at U of T are our campuses. All three of our campuses are located within 1 hour of each other in the downtown Toronto and Greater Toronto area, offer the same high quality of education, and are all self-contained, offering our students everything they need from academic support to student life. When you graduate, you're earning a University of Toronto degree, regardless of which campus you choose, and they each offer different environments with unique features, and the size and location vary. It's critical to us that every U of T student has not just a home base, but a team that's there to support and cheer you on. We want you to be happy and reach your full potential, and that's why each of our campuses is also home to a wide range of student services. Your professors and TAs will also offer weekly office hours to work with you one-on-one. U of T students take full advantage of these services, so much so that 91% of first-year students move on to second year. The third and final takeaway I mentioned at the beginning was the ability for a U of T student to mix and match programs to really personalize and build their own degree. With over 700 undergraduate program options, there's no shortage of opportunities to do this. At U of T, many of our programs are available on all three campuses, allowing students to choose the environment in which they'd like to study. Other programs are unique to a specific campus. So for example, the St. George campus offers over 50 languages. Forensic science is located at our Mississauga campus, and journalism is located at our Scarborough campus. We also have the highest ranked faculty of engineering in Canada with 8 core programs you can apply to directly from high school, including computer, civil, mechanical, and more. And we have an undecided first year program called Track 1, where you can then declare into the Core 8 after your first year. Lastly, we offer engineering science, which is an enriched program where students spend their first 2 years in high-level multidisciplinary engineering courses before going on to a specialized major. The 3 remaining communities are the smallest at U of T and again, unique to the St. George campus and include architectural and visual studies, kinesiology, and our faculty of music. You can also customize your degree through your co-curricular record, which is a great way to apply what you learn in class to the real world. We offer paid work placements through our co-op and professional experience year co-op programs, as well as research opportunity programs. When it's safe to travel internationally, we have formal exchange programs with over 140 partner institutions in more than 40 countries, along with a plethora of international experience pathways through summer abroad options, paid externships, and international course modules that count towards your degree. And as Canada's largest university, you can get involved with any of over 1,000 different student clubs, our 44 varsity blues teams, or our intramural sports program. So if all of this is sounding pretty good, let's talk a bit about admissions. Here's a quick timeline of our admissions process, and we encourage students to submit their initial application by early November, which gives you plenty of time to submit your required documents, complete a self-reported grades form, and any other supplemental application that may be required for admissions. Like McGill, we really focus on academics when it comes to admissions, and we are test optional through fall 2022. Our admissions decisions are usually released beginning early in the new year and then go throughout the spring, so you'll be following a timeline similar to what you might expect from a US university. We're also pleased to offer a range of scholarships varying in value for international students. Applicants are automatically considered for these awards and will receive notice shortly after admission. You can also find more of our in-course scholarships using our Award Explorer tool, including our Lester B. Pearson Scholarship, which is our largest award for international students and covers 4 years of study. It does require a nomination by your school and a supplemental application, so feel free to have a chat with me or your high school counselor about this award. That takes it to the end for me. Thanks everyone so much for joining. I'll put my contact information in the chat if anyone wants to reach out, and enjoy the rest of the presentations.
Thank you very much, Toronto. As we move into the second half of our presentation, just a reminder, please do feel free to ask any questions you may have to any of the panelists utilizing the Q&A feature. But up next, we're going to hear from Macquarie University.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining today. My name is Leanne Allen, and I represent Macquarie University, which is in Sydney, Australia, and I am based in Los Angeles. Sydney is a stunning city, as you can see from these images. It's an incredibly multicultural city as well. Australia is home to 1 in 4 people who live overseas or from overseas. So we're a very multicultural society. As a student at Macquarie, you have the best of both worlds, the big cosmopolitan city experience with the wonderful beaches, as you can see here. This is Bondi Beach, which is one of our most famous beaches in Australia. And then you can retreat back to campus, which is a stunning parkland university. We're home to about 40,000 students, and of that, there are 12,000 international students, so an incredibly diverse student population as well. Students often ask what's it like to study in Australia, and honestly, Australian students want the same experience as a US student does. So we have all the clubs and associations that you could imagine on US campuses. We also have really strong sports teams. We don't have the NCAA outside of the US, but you can certainly play for the university at the Australian University Games, for example. That second photo there is one of our two swimming pools as part of the Sports and Aquatic Centre. Our weather does allow outdoor swimming pools. If it's below 60 degrees in Sydney, we'll complain it's too cold. If it's above 90 degrees in summer, we'll complain it's too hot. So we do like a very temperate, mild climate in Sydney. If you think you'll miss the snow, that's okay. You can still find ski fields in Australia. It's about a 3-hour drive from Sydney. When you first arrive in Australia, we'll pick you up from the airport and take you back to your accommodation. And then we have a full week of orientation where you really get to know the city, the campus, and all the community that makes up Macquarie as well. Some of the biggest differences between US and Australian education is that our degrees are 3 years in duration, so we don't have general education requirements. When you apply to the university, you do need to let us know what you want to study at the time of application. An assessment is based on what you do want to study. If you're not sure what you want to do, I definitely recommend a double degree, for example, a Bachelor of Arts and a Bachelor of Business, which really sort of is somewhat similar to a liberal arts program. Our most popular classes are our accounting, international business and business administration, as well as our media and communications, international relations. We specialize in software and telecommunications engineering, and fun fact for you, we actually invented Wi-Fi, so you're welcome. Our earth and environmental sciences are also very well ranked, so if you're thinking about sustainability or climate sciences, Macquarie and Sydney are a fantastic place for that. Our number one program is our clinical science and our Doctor of Medicine, which is a 6-year program out of high school, which leads you to being a doctor. You actually spend your 5th year or part of it in the States at 2 of our partner hospitals, which are top 10 international ranked medical schools. You can live on campus when studying with us. We have quite a few different all guaranteed, but as long as you apply early, you won't have any problems. Quite a few different options. If you want your own bedroom, you're very welcome to that. You often have your own bathroom, sometimes you share. We do have meal plans, but they're also associated with specific accommodation providers, so keep that in mind. It's not specific to the university. Studying overseas isn't always that expensive. Our tuition is approximately $24,000 per year, and living costs are about $15,000. So all in is about $40,000. And do keep in mind, it's normally a 3-year degree program. So that 4th year when you're entering the workforce means you save a year of study and a year of paying tuition. We are one of 200 schools outside of the US where you can use US financial loans. And we do have merit-based scholarships available to students as well. And you are able to, minimum wage is about $20 an hour. It is free to apply to the university and it's an online application. It generally takes about 2 weeks to get a response from us. And we do offer rolling admissions as well. At the moment, we are test optional due to COVID-19, so we will just look at your transcripts and your GPA for eligibility into our programs. Once you receive an offer letter, you can then apply for scholarships, US financial aid, and accept your place in the program, purchase your overseas healthcare insurance, which will cover you for the full duration of your studies in Australia, apply for your visas, book your flights, and join us in Sydney. As Julia briefly mentioned, in Australia and being in the Southern Hemisphere, our dates are a little different. So we commence in February and July. About 50-50 as to when students do start. So you're welcome to apply for the July intake and then defer till February if you would like to do that. That's all from me. Thanks so much for joining. I will be more than happy to chat further with you and welcome you to Sydney.
Thank you very much, Macquarie. Up next, we're going to move to Johns Hopkins University.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. And just as everyone else has said, thanks for being here this evening and spending some time with us. Just to share a little bit about who we are at Hopkins, your first domestic U.S. school here in the grouping tonight.
Jeremy, sorry to interrupt you. For some reason, the slides are not coming in. So let me stop share and then you try to reshare. I think the slides froze.
Okay. Let's try again here. I'm still showing Leanne is sharing by chance.
Yeah, and I stopped it. I don't know. I think because she seems to have, there we go. Now try it.
Okay, let's try again here. And just going to close this really quick. There we are. How's about that now?
Yep, looks good.
Wonderful. Thank you. Again, apologies for that quick delay, but just to share a little bit about Hopkins, who we are, what we do. So again, your first domestic school in the group here tonight. So we are located in Baltimore, Maryland, right on the Chesapeake Bay. So we are also very much a water-based school, like many of those that you've heard from so far tonight. We'll talk a little bit about Baltimore as a city in a moment, but a couple of things to think about when you think about Hopkins to identify us with. So one is that we are very much a research school. We're actually the United States' first research school. So we were founded in 1876. Our mission is to look at existing knowledge and probe for new knowledge. Research is a huge part of who we are. We are a tier 1 research institution, an R1 research institution. In addition to being the nation's first research institution, we also spend more money on research than any other institution in the United States every year. And we'll mention what research looks like in just a minute again. But while you're doing that too, we're also very much a liberal arts school. We believe in that well-roundedness in education. We want you to get a good backing, not only in the things you know you're really interested in, but maybe in some other areas that you haven't had a chance to try yet. So while you're here at Hopkins, you will be centered on our undergraduate campus, which is located at Homewood, right on the north side of downtown Baltimore, but you still absolutely have access to the full breadth of the Hopkins network, including our School of Medicine, or School of Public Health. Both of those ranked #1 or #2 in the United States based on what rankings you're looking at. So really world-class facilities as well. To supplement these education plans, there are 52 majors and 46 minors. Looking at Hopkins curriculum within those majors and minors, we do not have any core curriculum. So there are no classes every student is required to take in order to graduate. Leaves you a lot of space open on your schedule, leads us to seeing about 60% of our graduating class each year with at least a double major or major minor combination. And again, those can be all across the spectrum, no matter whether they are similar to each other or very, very different. Looking outside of the classroom as well, I mentioned research. We definitely want to use that as a supplement to what you're learning in the classroom to give you that hands-on experience. So again, that leading research spending, we are #1 in the United States in research spending. This is our 41st year in a row with that title. So it's definitely something that we have a tradition within. We exceed the next closest school in the United States by over $1 billion on research spending as well. So it is an incredible amount of money. What it accumulates for you is the ability to do unprecedented research from day one on campus. No competition with graduate students, no competition with upper level undergrads. There are unlimited opportunities for our 5,300 undergraduates here on campus. In addition to research, also study abroad and internship opportunities. This in the bottom left, that is one of our branch campuses that is a part of Johns Hopkins. So that is our Hopkins campus in Bologna, Italy. We also have one in Nanjing, China, as well as international partnerships around the world. On campus, we want to know that you are an active participant of our community as well. This is something that we're looking for in our review process. We want to know that once you're on campus, you are not only an academic, but a social member of our campus as well. So 400 different student organizations to choose from. As you can see through these photos, they really go all across the spectrum in terms of what they care about, whether that be performing arts, cultural affinity groups, groups that are interested in athletics, getting outdoors. You name it, we likely have it. If you don't, you're more than welcome to start that organization with just 3 friends and a faculty advisor as well. Looking at the city that we're located in, Baltimore is an incredibly diverse area. I am also a native Michigander. I grew up on the west side of the state, so Very much like Courtney from Toronto, really great to see all of my native Michigan, very different living on the East Coast here in Baltimore. So one of the really big perks of being in Baltimore that I like to stress is that very much unlike living in the Midwest, where I was basically sandwiched between Detroit and Chicago as a kid, in Baltimore, you have access to the full East Coast. You can be in DC in about 45 minutes in Washington, DC, be to Philadelphia in about 2 hours by train, be to New York in about 3 hours, Boston in just a little bit more. So really, if you're looking to expand your network, not only from Baltimore, but beyond, we're a great city in our own, but also have a lot to offer outside too. Looking at decision deadlines, Hopkins adheres to both an early and regular decision process. So decision being that binding that says, I know Hopkins is my first choice. If that is you, that's great. We adhere to both early decision 1 and early decision 2 as deadlines. Those are both exactly the same in that they're both binding agreements. You just have more time to decide on early decision 2 if that commitment. So maybe you're applying early action to some schools, you'll have decisions in your hand by the first of the year, and that'll inform your choice of whether or not to apply early decision 2 or non-binding regular decision on January 4th. We accept both the Common App and the Coalition. We default to the preference of your school counseling team. And then lastly, just to talk about financial aid quickly, this is a process that became much better for us over the last 2 years. So we have received a $1.8 billion donation from one of our alumni, Michael Bloomberg, a really transformational gift that has all gone to our financial aid process, guarantees 3 things for us now on campus. So one is that we are need blind. So we will never see whether or not you need financial aid as a part of your application process. Some schools may consider that, good thing to ask, but here at Hopkins, we do not consider it. For all admitted students, we are also 100% need met. So we are fully committed to providing whatever the difference is between your estimated family contribution, which is determined with those pieces of paperwork in the bottom right corner of the slide here. And then anything between the difference of that estimated family contribution and the full sticker price of Hopkins, we cover entirely with a combination of grants and scholarships. So things you don't have to pay back. As you can see, 2 years ago, the average grant was $48,000. So also making Hopkins quite competitive with your local in-state opportunities, but a really incredible process. And just the last pieces that we're now offer loans as a part of our aid packages with that need-based being as strong as it is. Really encourage you to connect. Again, thank you so much for bearing with us through those early technical difficulties, and I will hand it off to Bowling Green.
Thank you very much, Johns Hopkins. As we do move to our final presentation, we will have a little bit of time at the end for our panelists to answer any additional questions our attendees have, but you may want to submit them now through the Q&A. Last but not least is certainly Bowling Green State.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Keon Camden. I am an admissions counselor for Bowling Green State University. We are placed right off of 75. If you're heading south from Michigan or the Toledo area, we're placed there strategically because you will have access to basically all of Ohio from where our campus is located. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. Hopefully. Can you all see that?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. All right, so the population of Bowling Green, the city itself, is about 31,591. Now you will find that once you are a active student here on campus, this entire city becomes your entire environment, your entire home. Everyone in this city, you will most likely know the business owners. You'll most likely know them because they'll come to campus. They'll help put on events on our campus. We host about 600 to 800 events a semester pre-COVID. We're hoping to get back to that soon. So our entire environment here in BGSU is really just, it's family oriented. We've got 70 miles to the Detroit airport. So for some reason you would need to catch a air flight or a plane to go meet up with friends or family. That's something that you would easily be able to do. We are ranked one of the best college towns due to that family-oriented based environment. And then we are basically 30 minutes to the nearest city lights, concerts, and shorelines in Northwest Ohio. We have over 20,000 students here on campus. So of those 20,000, about 16,000 are pursuing their undergrad and about an additional 4,000 are pursuing their master's or their doctorate. That's something that we really like to have a lot of different majors here, a lot of different students and different ethnicities from all walks of life. So with those 20,000 students here, we really get everything that we're wanting on our campus. So we're landing at a 20% racially and ethnically diverse campus with students from all 50 states and from currently 76 countries. And with that, we are also ranked one of the safest colleges in the United States. Since we are a Division I college, we do offer over 200 plus majors and programs. We like to think that we're a Division I college with a a personalized approach, because you won't see more than about 30 to 34 students in a lecture hall here at BGSU. You might see maybe 40 your freshman year when it comes to those gen ed classes, but when you're in the bulk of your majors classes, you will see a very, very personalized approach. We do have a number of our different academic colleges that base these 200 majors and programs that you can read there to the left. But down at the bottom, we have 2 additional programs that aren't really housed in any specific academic college. So our deciding student program, this is for students that might not know exactly what they want to do, but we will allow them to take a class from maybe a major over here or a major over there, and give them time to develop what they're most passionate about. And this actually brings in about 45% of our incoming freshman class every single year, because at 17, 18 years old, I don't blame you for not knowing exactly what you want to do for the rest of your life, because I know I didn't. And then down there at the bottom is our pathway program. And this is a program for students that don't meet our exact admissions criteria, but we see potential and we still want to give you the chance. And you kind of know that foundation to meet our regular criteria and gain that regular admission. So this pathway program is a 1-year program where you will just be asked to maintain a 2.0 GPA while maintaining your additional study hours and your meetings every week with your academic advisor. And if you do that, you will then be able to graduate from this program, declare the major that you would like, and then pursue throughout your 4 years or 5 years at BGSU. And we do have free tutoring here on our campus at our Learning Commons, which also is the home to our Career Center, which will, do resume building, help you with interviews, mock interviews. They'll walk you to a bunch of different job fairs. We hold our own job fair here on campus that, a lot of our teachers, since we are a teacher-oriented school, they actually get plucked from all across the country. So if you're interested in education, BJSU should definitely be in your top candidates. We have a 9-to-1 student faculty staff ratio, which means that's where that personalization comes into play. You will see way more students on campus than you will faculty and staff, but you'll also figure out that the faculty and staff here really value their relationships with our students. So when COVID was really starting to peak, we had about 12 different professors that had their own RVs that drove them to the parking lot of our big sports arena, and they held their office hours out there so that students could feel safe, be socially distanced, but also still get that one-on-one interactions and attention that they might need during finals week. So something that we're really proud to have here at BGSU. We do have housing here on campus, so if you are within 50 miles of the campus, you are allowed to commute, but if you're outside of 50 miles, you are going to be asked to stay on campus your first 2 years. We've got 10 residence halls and 18 learning-themed communities. We are actually giving 360 virtual tours of these on our website, so if you're interested in that, shoot me a quick email, and I'll be happy to shoot you that link so you can check them out. We want all of our students to get involved as soon as possible on campus. We've had over 9,600 students take part in a volunteer service. Our last one was down to Florida. They helped with hurricane relief. They were able to, take the classroom work, go down there, give back to a community while also staying, headstrong with their academics and being able to network and meet a variety of different people down there. I would say about 50 to 60% of our students that take one volunteer service here at BGSU end up taking 2 or 3. So on top of that, we've also got Division I sports, so 18 NCAA teams, but we do also have 23 club sports, which are basically like the JV of these sports, and then intramural sports too. 400 student organizations along with sororities and fraternities, so that Greek life is also an aspect here at BGSU. And I will go ahead and wrap it up with that. If I can figure out how to stop my share. There we go.
Thank you very much, Bowling Green State, and thank you to all of our panelists for your great presentations. We do have time remaining, so attendees, if you have any questions, please do feel free to send them through the Q&A. In the meantime, can I ask the panelists to turn their videos back on, and we can do a round of questions here ourselves. My question to you all is, what's one thing you did not have time to present on that you'd like to cover now? Maybe that's your favorite event or tradition on campus, a fun fact about your school, etc. And so we'll go in that same order, starting with UniMelb.
So I guess a fun fact about UniMelb, we have an underground parking lot called a car park in Australia that was on a Mad Max film, and it was on like Top Chef. So that's kind of a fun fact. I'll pass it to my next colleague.
Sure. Sorry. I won't do a fun fact, but I'll just add a little layer because I did focus on the idea that you apply to a certain faculty, but I do want to just say at McGill, we do offer, the degree being very multidisciplinary. So if you have interests outside of your major, by all means, those doors are not closed to you. You can still study material outside of your main interest if you have a second or third interest as well.
I would just make a quick plug for other Canadian universities. There's so many great ones across the country. McGill and U of T are obviously wonderful, but check out different options right across the country in all sorts of different price points and locations and programs. It's a great system.
In honor of Earth Day last week, we were recently ranked in the top 100 for sustainable university. So we're pretty proud of that.
One of our favorite traditions here at Hopkins is called lighting of the quads. So the night before your first finals, we go out on our large green space outside on campus. In the weeks leading up to that, there are lights that are put all through the trees, all the buildings on campus, but they don't light up in the evening. The president comes out, gives a deprecating speech about himself that's supposed to make you laugh, put you at ease. We have some student performing groups in the evening. We plug in the lights, all of campus illuminates. We have a fireworks show. And again, it's just meant to kind of put you at ease before that first day of finals.
One cool thing I would like to highlight about BGSU is that we are known for being a teacher school, but recently we just had a $50 million new business building put up, where we are ranked in our supply chain management and our accounting majors here at BGSU. So if you're interested in any of the business avenues when it comes to furthering your education, we should definitely be, or at least come check out our new building here at BGSU.
Great, thank you. We've got time for one more question. So what's one piece of advice you have for students going through the college search process? Same order.
So I really encourage all of you guys to look outside your backyard and, think of going internationally. We're all available as a resource, so you can just kind of, set up meetings or ask your questions to any university reps. And that's a great way to learn more about what you need to do to apply to an international school.
And I'll encourage you, that's a great point. And I'll definitely encourage you as well to speak to current students. They're going to give you the honest approach to, the things that maybe we can't say. So whether you find them on, social media platforms, or if you find them at events that universities have set up where you get to interact with current students, they are a wealth of information.
Yeah, great advice so far. I would just say to consider options beyond what your friends are thinking about. It's okay if you're doing something a bit out of the ordinary for your friend group or your school. And again, feel free to reach out to us if you don't have the resources locally to get the answers that you need.
I would, of course, definitely say look overseas, but if that's a little too overwhelming or isn't going to work for you, make sure you absolutely do a study abroad or exchange over a semester or summer or winter overseas, because you will never regret it.
And I think just referencing not being afraid to ask questions as well. So I was a first generation college student. I didn't have anyone in my household who knew anything about this world. If that sounds like you, I noticed we did not have any questions tonight in the chat, and that's okay. But just know that we're all here to answer those questions. We really do want to help you and provide the best information that we can so that you can, again, make the best choice. Like Nick was talking about at the beginning for McGill, that we want you to find the right choice, whether it's our school or a different school. So the only way you're going to do that is by reaching out to us and figuring out what's right for you.
On my end, I would say that this is a process you should enjoy. So when the offers start coming in, I would definitely take the time, maybe your first 30 weekends or the first 20 weekends of your senior year are filled up with college visits. That's okay. You want to be able to get a feel for the college that's right for you. You don't want to narrow it down so early because of friends and family and what people are telling you. experience it for yourself, make a decision for yourself, because these next 4 years are going to be so detrimental to your development when it comes to the professional world.
Great, thank you very much. Thank you again to all of our panelists, again, for your presentations and your additional insights. And certainly thank you to all of our attendees for being here today. We hope you learned a little bit about these schools, your interests were piqued, and now you're going to continue the conversations by reaching out to the schools, finding out more information about majors, etc. Before we do close this session, though, just a few quick housekeeping items to go over. The first is that when you do close this window, you will receive a very quick 4-question survey that we ask that you complete. And again, there are 2 other blocks of sessions this evening, so if you haven't signed up for those yet, please do feel free to do so. And about 1 week from today, a recording of this session will be available on that strivescan.com/Michigan website. But thank you again to everybody, and to all the students out there, good luck in your college search, and as was stated, enjoy it. Have a good night.